All right, welcome everyone. Thanks so much for joining me today. And really, I'm just very excited to share some news with you guys, something that I've been working on for quite some time over the past several months. If you are new here or this is your first time checking out my YouTube channel, my name is Taylor Kirk. I am a digital marketer for physical therapy practices. So really, today, I just want to share with you guys, like I said, what I've been working on for my business, and that is an entirely revamped rebrand of my business. And so without further ado, I want to introduce my new business name, the Pelvic Marketer. Many of you that have been following me since I started my marketing business a year now. It's been a year, which is awesome. Probably know me as Taylor Danielle Creative. Essentially with that business, I had been focusing on, like I said, general marketing for physical therapy practices. And it kind of came down to I felt like something was missing as I've went full time into my business as a digital marketer. It just kind of felt like something needed to change. I was enjoying what I was doing, but it just didn't feel exactly aligned with what I was hoping to provide to physical therapy practices with my marketing skills. And so, any business owner would probably tell you that, growth and change is normal. As owning a business, it's probably never going to stay stagnant. And so I kept kind of coming back to self-reflecting and looking internally. And one of the biggest passions that I found during my time in clinical practice was pelvic health physical therapy. And really during the final 6 months of clinical practice, I had the opportunity to get pelvic health level 1 certified and then treat pelvic health patients pretty consistently in the clinic. Although I'm, unable to start my own pelvic health physical therapy practice because of the constraints of a non-compete, I recognize that there's a significant need for marketing in this area. And, personally, I've seen firsthand as a pelvic health provider, the educational barriers and the poor stigma surrounding pelvic health dysfunction. And oftentimes, clients sitting in front of me don't even know pelvic health services exist or that pelvic health providers can help with certain issues. And oftentimes they just think that whatever is going on with them as far as pelvic dysfunction is normal. And I'm here to tell you that that's not true. So, that's kind of why I put it all together. I started thinking okay, so I love pelvic health as far as the clinical practice side of things. I'm unable to provide physical therapy services at this time just due to a non-compete. So how can I kind of align those two as far as marketing and pelvic health and, kind of really dive deep into my true passion. And so that's where the Pelvic Marketer kind of came in. So really my goal with this is to provide content marketing services for pelvic health practices. And my vision is to work alongside pelvic health practices, creating content to break down barriers and improve the reach of their services. And so that's kind of what I plan to do with the Pelvic Marketer, is offer those content marketing services to those pelvic health practices, and by doing so, normalize the conversation surrounding pelvic health dysfunction while taking the stress of pumping out organic content constantly, from these pelvic health providers. Somewhat of a way, indirectly, even though I'm not treating these patients that these pelvic health providers will potentially obtain, I'm helping them find the services that they need in an indirect manner. So when I was looking at naming my business and with this new rebrand, I kept coming back to the simplicity of what it was that I was trying to do, what it was that I wanted to really, I guess, marketing message wise, get across that I was providing. And this kind of reminds me of my dad. And if any of you watching our family or friends and my dad, he's awesome. And he's a very simplistic man. And it's one of my favorite things about him because he takes everything and he makes it simple and not so overwhelming. And I think that that's wonderful. But specifically, it reminds me of my childhood when my dad used to name some of the animals that we had growing up. And we had all sorts of animals: cows, cats, dogs, pigs, all sorts of things. He would name them based on the color of the animal or the type of animal that they were. So for example, we had a black cow or black Angus cow. He named Blackie, which I felt like, that's pretty straightforward. We had a coonhound dog growing up and my dad named him Cooney. So again, very straightforward. And then lastly, one of my favorites that I remember, we had a roan horse that he named Roni. And I love that horse. So, when I was deciding on a name, I feel like I took my dad's simple approach to like what it was that I wanted to call this business, and I feel like it was kind of genius. Like when I'm looking back at like, that makes perfect sense. So that's why the Pelvic Marketer was born. It's perfect. It describes exactly who I am, what I do, and how I'm trying to help people. I'm marketing for pelvic health practices. And for those of you that maybe are either unfamiliar with content marketing or not sure how content marketing can be beneficial for pelvic health practices, and really just like breaking down the stigma and the barriers surrounding pelvic health dysfunction, just general content marketing itself can be so powerful. And part of this is the boom of the digital age that we are living in. All of us have access to so much information right at our fingertips. It takes 2 seconds to Google something, and this still rings true for pelvic health and pelvic health dysfunction. And so my goal as the pelvic marketer, when working alongside these pelvic health practices, is to create their content on various platforms, whether it's video, audio, written, social media, email, and provide content that answers questions, creates a comfortable space for conversation for pelvic health dysfunction, and empathizes with others so that they understand like we know what they're going through, whether or not, we've actually experienced it. We understand that it is not fun, and, we want to help them, and really just with this content, support the people that are seeking out services that deserve them, that they absolutely deserve the opportunity to, have these services available to them and know that they're available to them, and that they don't have to live with these dysfunctions just because somebody told them 10 years ago that it was normal, because it's not. So that's kind of like the biggest thing is like with content marketing itself being so powerful is like you can reach such a wide variety of individuals because like the internet is so easily accessible, and you can reach a wide variety of learning styles with the ability to create content on various platforms and in various formats. Like I said, video, audio, written, whatever it is. This is something where I feel like I am indirectly helping people get the services that they need, and really just like work to further accelerate the pelvic health therapy sector in its growth and development. And with all this being said, at the end of the day, first and foremost, I am a physical therapist. I graduated from physical therapy school in May of 2020 with my doctorate in physical therapy, and so that's like at my core, like that's what I am. And my passion is to help others, and it's always been that from such a young age. It's always been to help others. But as I've grown, one as a clinician and then two as a marketer, specifically helping those with pelvic dysfunction has been something that has really grown within me. And although right now, like I said, I cannot provide pelvic health physical therapy services to patients directly because of the constraints of a non-compete, I feel that I've found a way to give back to this population of pelvic health dysfunction individuals, but in a non-clinical manner. And I just couldn't be more excited to kind of bridge the gap between marketing and pelvic health dysfunction with the Pelvic Marketer. So if you are somebody that is struggling with pelvic health dysfunction, this looks like urinary leakage, painless sex, pelvic heaviness, feel free to reach out to me. Although, like I said, I can't provide you physical therapy services. I'd love to connect with you and point you in the direction of a provider that I feel like would be very beneficial to help you with whatever it is you have going on. And if you're a pelvic health physical therapy practice or occupational therapy practice, or just really a pelvic health practice in general, looking to stop stressing over pumping out organic content for your business, I'm your gal. I'm here, and I think what's unique about me and my business is I've not only treated pelvic health individuals and received the training to understand the actual clinical practice route of things, but I also have these marketing skills that I feel combined are very powerful and could work well for you in your practice. If you'd like to learn more about me, check out my website. I'll link it down in the description, or you can follow me on Facebook or Instagram. At the Pelvic Marketer is my Instagram handle. And yes, thanks so much for taking the time to join me today, and I can't wait to talk soon.